How's it going, my peeps? It is now time for the Raw results / highlights and review video. I'll go over the results, some of the highlights of my opinion, and give you guys my thoughts, my review on the show. So it kicks off with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon in the ring, and it looks like they're about to introduce Batista, because he talks about how he wants to welcome back somebody that's been a foe to him, and also a friend, somebody that he's involved with. And then he says, I introduced to you a former Evolution member, but instead of Batista coming out, Randy's music hits, and Randy comes, like, walking down the ramp pretty quickly, gets in the ring, and he tells Triple H and Stephanie, who do they think they are, and then Stephanie McMahon replies back, telling Randy, who do you think you are, and they talk for a while about what Randy did last week to Jonathan's dad, and how that was unacceptable. Triple H tells him, you know, you're the Viper, I expected you to, I guess, rise up or whatever from your loss against Kofi Kingston. Instead, you hit an old man from behind. Randy also complains about Brock Lesnar, or actually complains about Triple H bringing back Brock Lesnar and Batista. You know, pretty much as he's been saying in the past couple of weeks, where he doesn't feel he's protected enough. And pretty much Triple H tells him that tonight he's going to have a rematch with Kofi Kingston to try and make things right. And also, he shows him, or tells him to look on the Titantron, and there's a camera there that's pointing to the parking lot, so he can see when John Cena comes down the arena, or actually arrives at the arena, I should say. And eventually, like a few moments afterwards, Batista's music hits, he comes out, and he cuts a really short promo. Before cutting the promo, he like poses on each turnbuckle, and pretty much he tells Randy, by the way, Randy was trying to shake his hand, Batista wasn't shaking Randy's hand, and he told him that pretty much he's back for these, and he points at the championships, and tells Randy that he's back because he's going to win the Rumble this Sunday, and he's going to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and main event Wrestlemania. And then he tells Randy to deal with it. His music hits, and that's it. He leaves the ring. Randy leaves the ring. And that was it for that. Following that, it was a 6-man tag team match. Big E Langston, along with Cody and Goldust versus The Shield. The match was pretty damn cool, as with all those 6-man tag team matches involving The Shield. He had Cody actually going for the disaster kick twice. He hit it the first time on Reigns. And then the second time, the second attempt, I believe Big E Langston was the legal man at that time. And Big E hit the splash on Ambrose, and Reigns interrupted the splash. So then Cody gets in the ring to try and stop Reigns. He goes for the disaster kick, and this time Reigns actually stops the disaster kick kind of midair with the Superman punch. That was pretty cool. And then Goldust gets in to try and stop Reigns. He punches Reigns, bounces off the other side of the ropes, comes back, but Reigns spears him. And then, what happened afterwards, actually? Oh yeah, afterwards, Big E Langston took down Reigns with his signature clothesline. And he goes for another clothesline, I think, on Ambrose, but Ambrose hits him with a knee to the gut, and then he tags in Reigns. Reigns gets in, Rollins. He tags in Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins gets in the ring, quickly hits the blackout on Big E, covers him, and wins the match for his team. That was an awesome ending, and it feels like it's not often you see Seth Rollins get the victory for the Shield. Usually it's Roman Reigns getting the victory for the team. So that was a nice change. Anyways, afterwards, you had Daniel Bryan, or actually before Daniel Bryan came out, they showed a video package, or just a video showing what happened last week, where Daniel Bryan left the Wyatt family and attacked Bray Wyatt in the steel cage. And then Daniel Bryan's out, and he addresses the situation, talks about it, says people have been asking him, did you have a plan when you joined the Wyatts? And then the crowd chants, yes, 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 and then he says, I think you guys already figured it out. And he says how, you know, that was his opportunity in the steel cage because he had Bray Wyatt one-on-one. And then eventually he gets to talk about the Rumble, where he says he just found out that Eric Rowan and Luke Harper are going to be in the Royal Rumble matchup. which leaves Bray Wyatt on his own for a one-on-one matchup against Daniel Bryan at the Rumble pay-per-view. So it's going to be Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt. And then Bray Wyatt appears on the Titantron, and he cuts a promo on Daniel Bryan. And in the end, he tells Daniel Bryan to hug his mom, because what's going to happen from here on out is all going to be Daniel Bryan's fault. And then he laughs, and that ends the promo. Following that, Fandango faces off against Xavier Woods. On commentary is R-Truth. So I guess the Xavier Woods and Brodus Clay feud is over, at least wasn't on this week. And Fandango won the matchup. There wasn't no interference from the Funkadactyls or anything like that. Just Fandango won with the leg drop. And after the match, R-Truth checked on Xavier Woods. And then after that, you saw Kane and Brad Maddox backstage. And Brad Maddox is like, that was a great idea, or, I had a good idea, or something along those lines. Pretty much, he was suggesting that Batista, bringing back Batista, was his idea. And then Kane pretty much calls him out on it, says, we all know that it's not your idea. But before actually you could say that, Stephanie McMahon interrupts, and Brad Maddox leaves. And then she tells Kane about what he did last week, laying his hands on CM Punk. He shouldn't be laying his hands on any of the superstars. And so Kane apologizes, even though he doesn't want to. And then she tells Kane that he also has to apologize to CM Punk. So Kane's like, what? He should be the one apologizing to me. But eventually he's like, alright. And then he leaves. And then he goes to the ring, calls out CM Punk. CM Punk comes out. He apologizes to CM Punk. And then CM Punk tells him, he does the usual, I can't hear you. I couldn't hear what you said, so say it again. So he apologizes once again. And the crowd says, one more time. And then CM Punk says, I heard you. I'm not going to embarrass you. And then he starts beating on Kane. He starts punching Kane. And he punches Kane out of the ring, kicks him out of the ring. Kane then looks like he's about to fight CM Punk. He takes off his suit and he wants to get back in the ring. But Brad Maddox comes out and he tells Kane, since you can't control this situation, CM Punk, you're going to be in action. Not against Kane though, but you're going to be in action against one of these two superstars. And then the New Age Outlaws come out. They do rock, paper, scissors. And I guess Billy Gunn wins or loses. I think he loses because on commentary, Jesse James said that Billy Gunn lost the rock, paper, scissors. So I guess whoever lost faced CM Punk. So yeah, it was Billy Gunn versus CM Punk. And Punk ended up winning the matchup when he reversed the Faymaster and hit the go to sleep for the victory. After the match, Kane comes out. Actually, Brad Maddox was about to say something. He was congratulating Punk. Kane comes out, grabs the microphone from Brad, and tells CM Punk that at the Rumble, he's going to be, before saying what he's about to say, he says that, the numbers are chosen at random, except for CM Punk, because he's going to be number one. Then after that, they show the parking lot camera, and you see two people approaching the arena, or actually going into the arena, and they are like, oh, it's John Cena, but then when they zoom in, it's actually Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman arriving at the arena. Afterwards, they show a tribute video for Mae Young. And after that, Rey Mysterio comes out for a matchup against Alberto Del Rio. And they have a pretty long matchup, it was pretty long. It was mostly dominated by Del Rio. He did work on Rey Mysterio's arm. He did hit the super kick. JBL did mention that was the super kick that won him the World Heavyweight Championship, as, he always does when Del Rio hits the super kick. And Rey Mysterio did hit the 619. But Del Rio is close to the ropes, so he grabbed the ropes and pretty much saved himself from losing the matchup. And in the end, Rey Mysterio goes for his bulldog. You know how Rey Mysterio does his bulldog? Not like the usual superstars where I don't know how to explain it, but the Rey Mysterio bulldog, he goes for it, but Del Rio turns it into a face buster and then follows that up with the cross arm breaker. Rey Mysterio taps right away. And then afterwards, when Del Rio's celebrating, Batista's music hits, he comes out, and he gets in the ring. Del Rio pretends like he's about to leave, but then he turns around, charges Batista. Batista hits him with a spine buster, and then he, shakes the ropes, sets him up for a Batista bomb, or what seemed to be a Batista bomb, but it ended up being just a regular power bomb. And the reason why I'm saying it's just a regular power bomb and not a Batista bomb is because he didn't sit out when doing it. So, Batista bombs Del Rio. Anyways, after that, Big Show came out for his face-to-face with Brock Lesnar. He mocks Paul Heyman in the beginning and then calls out Brock. Brock comes out, he walks down the ramp with Paul Heyman, and then all of a sudden he's like, never mind, forget this. Walks back up the ramp, goes to the back, and then Big Show grabs the microphone once again and tells him to come back out. So he comes back out. No music this time. He goes in the ring this time, goes face to face with Big Show, pretends like he's about to do something real quick, so Big Show actually flinches, which Brock laughs about that. And then Brock, he charges the Big Show, he tries to take him down, but Big Show puts him in the corner, and then charges Brock, I think, and then Brock got out of the corner, and then he started hitting shoulder tackles to the Big Show in the corner. Big Show, though, grabs Brock Lesnar in like a powerbomb position and throws him out of the ring. And then Brock's all mad, so he grabs the announcer's table, or the top of the announcer's table, grabs that, throws it around, grabs the monitors, throws them around, and grabs a steel chair, starts freaking smashing the chair onto the announcer's table, then tries to get in the ring with the steel chair, but Big Show puts his foot on the chair, so Brock Lesnar gets out of the ring once again. Big Show then grabs the chair, and Brock Lesnar, when he gets out of the ring, he trips on one of the monitors he took off the announcer's table. So he grabs that monitor, and then he throws it inside the ring, but Big Show kind of avoids it, hits it with his hand or whatever. And that was pretty much it. Brock Lesnar left, and that was it. He didn't get back in the ring to fight. He just told Big Show that he'll see him on Sunday. And afterwards, it was AJ Lee and Tamina versus the Funkadactyls. They showed that, well, actually, when AJ was making her entrance with Tamina didn't look too happy, and she had like some cake on her jacket. And they showed footage from the app where Josh Matthews was, or actually before Josh Matthews came in, Bad News Barrett told AJ that nobody likes her. And then Josh Matthews came in for like an interview, asking AJ how she feels about nobody liking her. And then she gets mad, she starts screaming, and grabs a cake, because it was like a celebration for AJ's, reign as Divas champion, longest reign as Divas champion. And pretty much Bad News Barrett was telling her that nobody showed up because nobody liked her. And then comes in Josh Matthews asking her what she thinks. And then, like I said, she grabs the cake and tries to hit Josh Matthews with it, but he kind of ducks, and instead she smashes it on Tamina Snuka. Anyways, as far as the match goes, AJ and Tamina versus the Funkadactyls. You got AJ tagging herself in at the end, or actually Tamina tagging in AJ, and AJ goes to grab Naomi, but Naomi was down. Naomi counters it into a roll-up, 1, 2, 3, gets a 3 count, so Naomi gets a non-title victory over AJ. See, I told you guys, if Naomi and AJ faced off tonight on Raw in a non-title match, then I would definitely go with Naomi getting the victory. And hey, it happened. It wasn't a one-on-one non-title match, it was a tag team match, but nonetheless, she got a victory over AJ. Following that was the Usos versus Eric and Luke Harper. And this matchup, at some point in the match, this is what I remember the most in the match, or that stood out the most, I guess, is Eric Rowan was trying to clothesline one of the Usos out of the ring. But it just didn't work out. It was just, it was a mess. He was trying to clothesline him out. He didn't fully clothesline him out, I guess, because the Uso was still in the ring. And then he tried to get him out, and then he just pushed him around and punched him once or whatever. It was just awkward looking. Kind of a botch there. Actually, definitely a botch. But anyways, towards the end of the match, you have Daniel Bryan actually coming down the ring, and at this point, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan were in control. But Daniel Bryan comes down the ring, or comes actually down the ramp, not the ring. He doesn't get in the ring, and he attacks Bray Wyatt, who's sitting on the chair. And that distracts Luke Harper, who's the legal guy. So the Uso in the ring, rolls him up, gets to 1, 2, 3, wins the match. Usos beat the Wyatt family. And then the Usos and Daniel Bryan chant yes, yes, yes on top of the ramp on the stage. And then afterwards, it was time for the main event, Randy versus Kofi Kingston, a rematch from last week. And when Randy made his entrance, he was like looking back just in case to see if John Cena, arrived at the arena. Now the matchup really, it didn't last too long. It was a long matchup. You had Kofi Kingston hit SOS once again, but it wasn't by surprise like last week. It wasn't really, he didn't turn it into a pin right away. Instead, he hit it and then he went for the cover. And Randy kicked out. Eventually, John Cena comes out, or actually you see John Cena on the Titantron first. And when I saw John Cena on the Titantron, the funny thing is, you see him running into the arena, right? And he's wearing his ring gear. So he was outside, in the parking lot or whatever, and he's running towards the arena as if, like he does in his entrance, and he's wearing his ring gear. I don't know, it looks cold outside. It was just funny to me seeing Cena running inside the arena with his ring gear on. It's just, whatever. Anyways, Randy sees that, and he's got Kofi kind of holding on to his leg, and he tries to get Kofi off of him. And then Cena finally gets actually inside the arena, inside, where the crowd is, and, where the ring is, the ramp is, and everything. So he runs down the ramp, and Randy quickly gets out of the ring. He tries to run away, but Kofi stops him on the other side, and then he's got John Cena on the other side, so he's kind of, he doesn't have anywhere to go. Kofi Kingston's blocking him, and so then Randy decides to go after John Cena, goes for a punch, but John Cena punches back. John Cena eventually throws him over the barricade. Randy runs off in the crowd. Cena follows him, grabs him, smashes his head against the railing, I guess, in between the crowd. Anyways, he goes after Randy in the crowd, even in the arena where there's the stands and everything, where you can buy shit. And they go outside, and when they go outside, Randy runs, or actually he runs to the outside before John Cena. John Cena afterwards finds out that Randy went to the outside, so he follows him, but it's kind of too late, because Randy's down the steps already, and he gets into this SUV or van or whatever, and he runs off. He went in the passenger seat. So the question is, who was the driver? Who drove Randy Orton off? Who knows? So anyways, what Cena does is he runs after the car like he did, running inside the arena. He runs after it. He jumps onto the car, and then he goes to the side, to the passenger side, and he starts punching the window. Eventually, he smashes it, and he grabs Randy from the car, and he grabs and takes him out of the car, and then they fight on the top of the car while the car's still, moving. I'm just kidding about this part. This did not happen. Cena did not run after the car, or after Randy got in the car. After Randy got in the car, he got away. That was it. And Cena just got back in the arena and walked back down the crowd area, got back in the ring, celebrated as his music hit, and that was it. So, what did I think about Raw? Highlights? Well, as far as the highlights go, Batista's back, and he powerbombed Del Rio. Also, I really liked the 6-man tag team match between the Shield, Cody, Goldust, and Big E Langston. That was a nice 6-man tag team match. But, that's the case with most of the Shield's matches, 6-man tag team matches. They're all good. I don't think I've ever watched a Shield match, especially a Shield match where it's 6-on-6, 3-on-3, that wasn't good. And, as far as the rest of the matches, nothing special, nothing really stood out. And as far as the ending of Raw, to me it was disappointing. It just, I was hoping maybe for an attitude adjustment outside the arena or something like that, like the fight to continue and one of them to get the upper hand. But instead, we got Randy running off and getting into an SUV and just driving off. Or actually, he didn't drive. I think somebody else was driving since he got in the passenger side. And JBL was like, oh, maybe he, sold the car or whatever, and Michael Cole was like, but he got in the passenger seat. It wasn't the driver's seat. Anyways, as far as our rating for tonight's show, I would give it like a 6 maybe on 10. It definitely wasn't as good as last week's Raw. I think last week's Raw I gave it a pretty high score. I gave it like an 8.5, I think. This Raw, I didn't enjoy as much. I would have hoped maybe to see like a Royal Rumble teaser where a few superstars throwing each other over, over the ropes or whatever, over the top rope, which you usually see on the Raw before the Rumble. Maybe we're going to see it on SmackDown, but we didn't see it tonight. And like I said, the ending, I was hoping maybe for an attitude adjustment outside the arena or an RKO or something like that, just for the fight to continue outside the arena. But anyways, that's pretty much all I got to say. Oh, actually, I was going to do a match card prediction video at some point for Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt. But then I was like, no, you know what? I think the matchup, if the match is going to take place, maybe it'll take place at the Elimination Chamber instead of, the Rumble. But I guess I was wrong since they did announce Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt for the Rumble this Sunday. And also, as far as Naomi versus AJ, well, Naomi did get a non-title victory over AJ tonight on Raw. But they didn't announce a Divas Championship matchup for the Rumble. So, I'm not sure if that's going to take place. I'm thinking there's still a chance of it taking place, because they could still announce it on SmackDown or pretty much at any time on WWE.com. I mean, I think that's where they announced the pre-show match, or the kickoff match, New Age Outlaws versus Cody and Goldust, which I found out about, like I said in my Naomi versus AJ video. Found out about that just as my match card prediction video was getting processed. So anyways, that's all I gotta say. If you guys also haven't checked out my video on how to get free Xbox Live cards, PSN cards, and all that good stuff, I'll put the link in the description box. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, as always, you can click that like button down below. And with that said, I'm out, guys. See ya.